Hello and welcome. I have with me Mr. Sudhakar Adapa, founder and CEO, BIA Brands. A Harvard and IIM alumni, Sudhakar is a serial entrepreneur running a diverse range of companies in sectors such as F&B, beauty and personal care, media and human resources across India, US, and the Middle East. Today, we will talk about the new shopper. As shoppers, we Indians have always been value conscious. We now seek customization, we prioritize sustainability. While we shop online, above all, we want a very seamless digital experience. So in effect, we are talking about the future of e-commerce in India, and who better than Mr. Sudhakar Adapa to dissect that for us. Thank you very much for joining us, Sudhakar. My first question to you will be about Q-commerce, quick commerce. It has been in the air for a very long time. There's been a lot of conversation in this summit itself about it. Do you think that quick commerce will be the death of e-commerce?
Well, e-commerce is thriving these days. And quick commerce, as you call it, Q-commerce, is probably the newer version of e-commerce there. If you look at the fundamentals of business there, the fundamentals of business are going to will remain the same. It is just that the way we deliver things are going to change. Now, quick commerce, is it going to be a sustainable thing? I would say yes and a no. Yes, because it is another form of commerce which will survive. But I think what I really think is that the definition of quick will change. Now, right now, the expectations of the consumer is that they are expecting everything to be delivered under 10 minutes. And if you say 20 minutes for a consumer, he's going to say, no, I can't wait for 10 more minutes out there. But the only thing is that if you want to deliver everything in 10 minutes, under 10 minutes there are certain categories like groceries and certain products where you can deliver in 10 minutes time. Because, India as a country is a very kind of a huge country where the density of the population is huge, which actually makes it actually India one of the few countries where quick commerce actually worked.
Right.
But I think it's going to be like the categories that you can do in quick commerce are going to be few and far in between. But majority of the categories, I think the definition of quick will change from 10 minutes to probably over 60 minutes or so, because not everything could be delivered in 10 minutes time. Is there a use case for quick commerce? Yes, there is a use case for quick commerce. But do you want everything under 10 minutes? I would say no. Can these companies deliver it sustainably? The unit economics are going to work out? I really don't think so. But I think things will change.
So quick commerce will become not so quick commerce.
If it has to be sustainable, I would say yes.
Right. We've seen the impact that social media, the rise of social media has had on marketing of brands, especially we've seen its impact on the rise of private brands in India. What do you have to say about that?
Well, social media, the influence of social media is all pervasive across all the sectors. And businesses are not an exception there. So the kind of influencer marketing and the influence of social media has risen phenomenally these days. These days, every celebrity is an influencer, every influencer is a celebrity. So I think as brands, if we have to survive, I think social media has become a potent weapon. And one of the advantages of private labels is that, it is actually providing a level playing field for smaller brands to actually compete with the Unilevers and P&Gs of the world. Now, if for example, if I have to launch a brand 10 years ago, right? Now, if I'm launching I own a cosmetics company, right? So if I have to launch a cosmetics brand, right? You need to own a plant, you need to formulate yourself, you need to have a manufacturing plant, you need to have a quality control department, you need to control R&D, you need to take it. The whole ecosystem there, it is huge capital cost, and it is not feasible for a small entrepreneur to launch a company there. Now today, if you want to launch a beauty brand or a cosmetics brand, I hate it as a founder of a cosmetics company, but it's all it takes is probably you can go to a contract manufacturer there, make some sampling, get some 1,000 pieces up, put it on online on Amazon or Flipkart or Nykaa, whatever is that, and boom, you have a brand.
Yes.
Right. It's become so easy these days.
True. What kind of disruptions do you see going forward as far as these private labels are concerned? Because you have social media aiding them. And as you just mentioned, that putting it all together is so much more easier. Every other person with the right capital can become an entrepreneur.
I think like everything has its own advantage and disadvantage. The advantage is that you could build a company with no capital. If you have a great product, you could build a company with almost next to nothing in terms of capital there, which is an advantage. The flip side is that the kind of competition that is growing in the market, you go and check at any marketplace, whether it's in Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, any other category, there, Zepto or Blinkit, whatever. The kind of brands that are proliferating in the market are humongous, right?
Yes.
So that is aiding in huge competition there. Differentiation has become really difficult for us.
Yeah.
But that's the flip side. The positive side is that customers have a choice. They are spoiled for choice. They have great products.
Yeah.
And at great prices there. So yeah, I think customers are making merry at this point in time, enjoying great discounts.
Right. One conversation that we've been having since yesterday is about local Indian companies or brands in our case going global. What kind of role are omni-channels playing in this?
Well, omni-channel, I am a big believer in physical retail. In fact, we at BIA Brands, we are one of the few companies, apart from your Unilevers and Procter & Gamble's there, we took a different approach to launching our brand. We have a specialty coffee brand called Brew and Bliss, right? So we've launched it in physical retail first. On day one, we are there at 1,200 modern trade stores, which is a feat I don't think anyone have achieved in the past few days. The reason for that is that not because I don't believe in the power of digital e-commerce there, but the whole point is that if you look at a category like in F&B, where the margins are less than 25-30% there. Now, if you have to give them a platform fee of 30%, add to it the cost of shipping and the cost of doing performance marketing there, I don't think any F&B brand will be able to survive.
Yeah.
And the platforms are like, even if you are a 1,000 crore brand or 100 crore, if you're selling, say, 1,000 crores on Amazon or on Flipkart there, your platform fee is not going to change. So which makes it unsustainable and not so viable there.
Right.
On the other hand, I have beauty products where the gross margins are far higher there. I am happy to sell it on Amazon and Flipkart. So I think it's important for an entrepreneur to pick the right channels to kind of do it.
But when you are launching a product, it's easier for startups to go the D2C way because it's perhaps cheaper to launch it digitally. So what do you think? Is D2C the only way to launch your FMCG startup?
Well, I wouldn't say D2C is the only way to do it. But if your capital is scarce, if you're not very confident about how your product is going to do in the market there, I would say a way to go, D2C is the only way to go. But if you have money, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's going to cost you a lot of money, but you can build a great brand physically also. So it pretty much depends on your objective. Do you want to, first try it out in the market and then go physical? It's your choice. But I would say D2C is not the only way to launch your product. I think if you have capital, if you're confident about the product, I would suggest any brand to go physical first.
Right.
No brand has ever been built completely online. You take the example of all the companies, whether it is in whatever sector, you take EdTech, D2C, whatever, all the brands are now physical.
Right. They might have started D2C, but they're all moving to a brick and mortar and D2C mix.
Yeah, D2C doesn't cost you a lot of money.
Yes.
So it's easier to go D2C. But if you want to build a truly scalable brand of value, I think physical retail and omni-channel is the only way to go forward.
Since you mentioned capital, we've seen over the years, despite global money movement, India has remained a sweet spot as far as investments into startups are concerned. What do you think is the impact of that on entrepreneurship in India, as well as on the kind of innovation that we are seeing here?
Well, India is a growing economy. And I think it's better than China because China is a very controlled market there. So I think it's easy for global money to chase markets with the scale as India there. So we've seen a huge influx of capital that is getting into India in the last 10 years as such, right? But the problem what happened is that because of the global liquidity there, the kind of abundance of capital that is available in this country has become like, more startups are dying because of indigestion than on starving.
Right.
So what we've started doing is that we've started, earlier capital is an enabler. You want to do business, you need capital, so you raise funds, right? It's the way. But unfortunately what happened is that now we started using capital as a weapon. What we are doing is that, look, I'm going to raise a fund, which is $100 million. I'm going to pump in money, by deep discounting, by driving out others. It's like a last man stand game, standing game, right? Which unfortunately is driving good businesses out of business. So I think there has to be a sanity in raising capital. We need to understand that, and don't stuck in this global liquidity thing. Last year, as early as last year,
yes,
zero interest rates, liquidity is coming in. Everyone are looking at India as a market there. Free capital availability, so people started raising hundreds and hundreds of $1 million. You need to look at it. Does my business need hundreds of $1 million?
Right.
Not every business needs hundreds of millions of dollars. There.
Right.
And use it diligently. And I think that's the message that I want to give it to entrepreneurs is that, raising capital, please see it as an enabler. And do not weaponize capital, because ultimately it is going to hurt the ecosystem. It is going to hurt the other players. It is going to hurt the smaller players there. To provide a level playing field, I think we need to use capital diligently, and with I think there is also a bit of responsibility that is involved in raising capital there. I think we are getting there. Market teaches us a lot of things. Last year there is global liquidity. Everyone is raising funds. Now today, people are asking tough questions. People are asking a lot more, getting into a lot more details than what they were doing earlier now. Now suddenly you see a scarcity there.
Absolutely. Great talking to you, Sudhakar. Great conversations and wonderful phrases you've used. Weaponization of capital and how Q-commerce could be the death of e-commerce. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you, Sujata.